Hey guys, welcome back. So I might look a little bit odd because I've only got corrector concealer and my eyebrows done. But today's video is a review of the LA Girl Pro Coverage HD Longwear Illuminating Foundation in the shade Warm Beige. I've had this for, I want to say about 6-7 months, I think. No. Yeah, actually since July last year. So July, August last year, that's when I got this. And I have been testing it out on and off since then. And I thought I'd do a review of it because I was actually meant to do this earlier and I completely forgot about it. So what I'm going to do first is just show you how I wear this. I actually prefer using this with a beauty blender, which is what I'm going to do. And this is how I actually wear this foundation. I've got my Ombre Elise Lait Creme Concentrate on, which is my moisturizer, which doubles up as a primer. And that works pretty much for all foundations that I use. So that's what I tend to use with this foundation to make it work the best. So I'm just going to put this on first, show you how I wear it, and then I will talk about the foundation. So I'm going to take 1.5 pumps, that much. To begin with, I tend to focus this mainly on the center part of my face. And I'm just pushing this into the skin. And this is a damp beauty blender. I don't know if you can see, but it's actually a pretty good match for me. And this doesn't oxidize at all. Not on me anyway. Okay, that's done. I'm going to lean in. Hopefully I stay in focus. That's what it's looking like on my skin. I'm just going to set now the under part of my eye. I'm using my Studio Fix powder in the shade C5 on a Real Techniques contour brush. So it's actually been about half an hour since I've put the foundation on and done my eye makeup, and the foundation is sitting quite well. What I am going to do, which is something that I do tend to do with this foundation, is just set the center part of my face quite lightly. So I'm using an e.l.f. small tapered brush. I'm using the same Studio Fix powder in C5. I'm just going to lightly set the center part of my face, and I do this because I am getting quite oily around the center part of my face, and as this is an illuminating foundation, I don't want it to make me look even more oilier around the center part. Okay, and then really lightly, like really lightly, I'm just going to go around my face to set this. And powder is not clinging onto this. Okay, so here's a roundup of my thoughts on this foundation. I'm going to start with the one big positive about this foundation, and it's the colour. It's got a beautiful yellow undertone for my skin. For reference, I'm a MAC NC42. It matches me perfectly. I'm wearing the shade Warm Beige. It has no glitter, however it does give me a dewy finish. It says it's an illuminating foundation, which I feel it is. yeah, so definitely love the colour on this. They nailed it with the yellow undertone, which I really struggle with foundations in general. There's only a few that actually do have the perfect yellow undertone, and I'm glad to say this is one of them. It does give medium to full coverage, as it does say on the bottle. I say medium to full as well because it's not entirely full coverage. It is buildable from medium to full, but it doesn't quite cover my freckles. However, any little redness that I had around my nose, I had a little bit of redness here from some pimples, it's covered all of that. So coverage, I do like the coverage, and I do like the way it sits on my skin for the most part. Like I said, with the dry patch, it does cling to it. I have moisturised my skin really well, and despite that, it did cling to my dry patches. The other thing is I have fairly large pores around my nose. However, I didn't realise how large they were until I wore this foundation. Doesn't matter what primer I use underneath, my pores just seem to look huge with this foundation, which is a real bummer because I really do love the colour, and when I love the colour of a foundation, I tend to wear it. It doesn't matter about the wear time or anything like that, I tend to wear it. But when you see pores that are huge on your face, it's a little bit off-putting. I haven't tried like the Benefit Professional, which is something I need to get. I tend to use like the Illuminating Hydra Veil, or even the e.l.f. Mattifying Balm seems to help with minimizing pores, but those two primers did nothing with this foundation. So I'm going to try it with the pore minimizer and really hope that it does minimize my pores and I can wear this foundation. Around the oily part of my face, which is my T-zone, I don't find this to be long wearing. Despite having set it with the MAC Studio Fix Powder foundation, I used to say the shade C5, I still find that it breaks apart on the center part of my face around about the 5th to 6th hour, and it does collect along my lines, so my smile lines, even on my frown lines. I find that it does collect and can look a little bit cakey around those areas. It applies quite easily onto the skin, it blends out really effortlessly. I used the sponge, as you can see in the demo, and it applied beautifully. I didn't have to work hard to blend it into the skin, and I was able to push it into the skin to make it look fairly flawless. I've used it with a brush and it does work, but I do find that it looks a little bit cakey with a brush compared to a sponge. So for me, I definitely prefer using a sponge. Products layer upon the foundation really easily. I've used various different brands of blushes, bronzers, and they work perfectly fine. I've used different highlighters and they blend in really, really easily. Aside from the Studio Fix powder, I've used MAC Mineralized Skin Finish. I've even used the RCMA No Color powder, and I find that they apply quite easily. I would have to really layer on powder for this to sit in place and not move. And if I was to do that, my makeup looks cakey, so I don't, which basically means that it's not very long wearing. I still use this foundation because I absolutely love the colour. You know, evenings where my pores are not really going to show and the lighting's not going to be fantastic, and when I don't need to wear it for a long time, I definitely reach for this because it does look really, really nice on the skin. Around the rest of my face where I'm normal to dry, if it lasts beautifully, it does stay a little bit tacky. I have powdered my skin really, really lightly with powder, but it does stay tacky, which means it does transfer a little bit, but it doesn't wear away, which is surprising for a foundation that feels tacky. Around the rest of my skin, it can last about 8 to 10 hours, which is pretty good for a foundation. But overall, I do like this foundation. I don't agree with the long wearing part. The flawless part is debatable because it does cling to dry patches and it does enhance pores. But overall, because of the colour, because of the shade, I love it and I keep using it. But I do need to try a pore minimizer with this foundation to see if I can hide my pores. But I hope this review was useful to those of you looking for a foundation. I think I definitely recommend this to those of you with drier skin rather than oilier skin. For normal skin this would be perfect, especially if you don't have dry patches and huge pores, then this would work perfectly for you. It would be long lasting, and yeah, you'd probably look flawless for the whole day. But yeah, I really hope this review was useful to those of you that are looking for an affordable foundation with the dewy finish. Thank you so much for watching. Please let me know what you think in the comments below. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and don't forget to hit the button with the bell to get notified when I post a video. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you all next time. Bye!